Get those in there CB longs. Okay, hopefully the wind doesn't mess up the audio on this, but what we got is the CCIs. These are CB22 longs. You can get them in shorts, but I like them in long because now I can feed them into the magazine of this Ruger 1022. Okay, now these are a subsonic round, 710 feet per second. They're very quiet. They do not have the power to cycle on their own. You have to do it by hand, but they will feed in through this magazine into that Ruger 1022. I typically use my single shot because the barrel is 1.5 inches longer, gives me more pressure, a little more thump for a little bullet. This is basically a squirrel. You want to hunt squirrels or something like that, or just fun to shoot. Like it says right there, low subsonic and low noise. I can shoot these and not piss off the neighbors. My dogs won't bark. But they're great in a survival situation. Okay, if you could walk up on geese, you know, we get a lot of Canadian geese and stuff around here. But shooting this, I've actually, I've never shot any ducks or geese with it because that'd be illegal. But got up close where I'm firing this thing, and they just looked at me like I was stupid. It did all of a sudden, all the birds didn't take off. Whereas if you take a shotgun, you're scaring everything, you know, for a half a mile. But you can do a lot of stealth stuff with this as far as putting meat on the table. You don't need any ear protection, although you might wear something. Something I'm missing here. But it's quiet. I mean, you can, and they're not that expensive. I can't remember what I paid for this. There's 100 rounds in this. But it will work through this. They don't work through a handgun. They practically just roll out the barrel. There's very little powder in these. Okay, and I got my little tape there. I measured out to 190 feet, and we're going to see if we can beat up a 2x4. If not, we'll get closer and we'll see what kind of damage we can do. But once again, these are the CCIs. These are the CB22 long. Get that in the light there. Great little thing to have because they're just quiet, and you can shoot these all day without raising much of a fuss and scaring off other game. And yeah, I'm sure I forgot something. I'll have to put it in there. All right, as you can see, they fit, and they will feed into that. You get occasionally get one with stovepipes or whatever, but like I said, you're gonna have to cycle these out by yourself because they don't have the power to do it. Look at that. Okay, to be exact, this is 191 feet. And you can see, it's just almost cute. Pry that thing out of there. Okay, I'm not going to try to carve it out of there. It'll just waste time, but you can see only half the bullet penetrated, so that thing may only be 1/4 of an inch, and then not much damage. I mean, it would have hurt something, but and as far as drop, there was about a 6-inch drop, but we need to get closer. Like I said, 191 feet. That's what we did right there, out of a CB. That's a pretty good size 2x4. Give you a better picture, just like that. Okay, here's another one. This is about 100, I'd say 165, 170 feet. I haven't measured it off yet, but once again, we're just burying them into this thing. Which this is a really hard piece of wood. It's it's a wet 2x4, but we'd like to see a little more than that. Can't pull them out. They're in there pretty good. As far as a squirrel is a lot softer than this board, but it gives you an idea so far. Not that much drop this time. Okay, this is at exactly 100 feet. It's, it's a hard piece of wood. You can see where these others are somewhat sticking out there. It looks like a pellet, but when I get back in, we'll peel one of these apart and we'll show you what the depth is. But that's at 100 feet right there. Count. I think that's it. Okay, roughly, I don't know if you read that, 159 feet. You can see here, some of these stuck. I was aiming right here. Not the most accurate thing in the world, but that's probably me. But some of these bounced off, like you'll see these here. Entered, bounced, but you can see the... get that focus there. Did some damage. I'm going to shoot some more, then I'll show you how hard this wood is. This is not the best example, this board here. This thing's hard as a rock. Plus I think it's wet. It's real heavy. But that would stop a squirrel, a varmint, a duck, a goose. Like I said, that's 160 feet. Out at 200 you get about a 6-inch drop. So to practice with. Typically I use my single shot. It's got a longer barrel, reaches out there a little bit better. But just I'll show you with this board how hard this board is. Alright, 30 feet. Okay, these here were at, I'm thinking now, I think these were 175 feet, 160 feet. These are all 160 feet off. But you can see, some actually bounced off, but most of them are... Actually, no, I take that back. They didn't bounce off. They're in there. I thought these were bounced out, but you can see these things are buried in there pretty good. If this was a varmint, a squirrel, pheasant, whatever, we're talking about surviving. I don't think you'd have any problem stopping them with these or slowing them down for the second shot. But anyhow, you can see this is 160 feet. Down here, these were 30 feet, okay, and they're in there. They're, you can't see them necessarily, but they're in there good ways. But the reason I want to show you this board was not the best example. This is no animal, but if it's wet, it's a fresh board. I don't think anything went through. It's very heavy, but like that. I mean, I slammed that thing in there. Look what my knife did. I mean, it's just barely, kind of give you an idea. So this may not have been the best example. I think these CBs, at 160 feet, or even out there at 200 feet. I've killed squirrels at 200 feet with them. A little bit of drop. But at 160, 170 feet, you can stop geese, ducks, whatever. And you're not scaring everything else off. You're not having, my dogs were barking, the cows didn't mind, the neighbors don't call. I've shot these, been out here practicing where there's been geese, Canadian geese out here moving around. And they just looked at me like I was stupid. So, definitely something worth having in your kit there.